Welcome to this new YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe to support me. As reported a few days ago by the Italian newspaper Autoracer.it, on July 16th, Ferrari will test the new rear suspension, which should help Ferrari become stronger and defend its second place in the Formula One Constructors' Championship. This new suspension was designed by Loic Serra and the technical group he leads, and it is certainly the last chance this year to create a competitive car, given that the first half of the season has been very disappointing. Everyone thought Ferrari would be fighting for the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships in 2025, but instead it has often been the third place finisher. Only Leclerc could have won the race in Monaco with his skill, but he collided with Lando Norris, who was very strong that weekend. I remind you that the rear suspension update is the third major upgrade since the beginning of the year. In Bahrain they brought a new floor, then another updated floor in Austria, and finally in Belgium we will see the new rear suspension. So the question is, what can we expect from this new suspension? According to some social media sources, the improvement could be around 1/10 of a second, but be careful. When you introduce such a significant mechanical upgrade, the results often become apparent after a few races because the team needs to fine-tune all the parameters necessary to make the new component work better. In this case, Ferrari will test the new rear suspension during a filming day and will therefore have plenty of time to make the necessary comparisons outside of a race weekend. A very important thing to note is that the new suspension will remain tied to its traditional pull rod philosophy. The changes will concern the inclination of some of the arms. The main issue to be resolved concerns the car's ride height. We know that Ferrari is one of the cars that has issues with ride height, and when it was able to run low, its performance increased significantly, as in Jeddah for example. It depends on the setup, but above all, it depends on the type of asphalt. The biggest problem is that if you use low ride heights, you risk excessive plank wear and you risk being disqualified, as happened to Hamilton after the Chinese Grand Prix. Ferrari is a very important brand. It cannot afford to be disqualified from a Formula One race. Another important thing to note about the new rear suspension is that it should reduce rear tire wear. Teams often run race pace speed tests during Friday free practice, and the results are not very valid because the simulated race pace lasts only a few laps. This means you have to be careful when evaluating race pace performance. However, with the new rear suspension, the tires should overheat less and therefore experience better degradation, which in today's Formula One is essential for achieving greater speed. Obviously, the other teams won't stand still. They will also bring updates, especially Red Bull. And at this stage of the F1 World Championship, it's important to split efforts between 2025 and 2026, given that the hours in the wind tunnel aren't endless. The 2026 cars have already been designed, although they're obviously not finished, and it's very important to be competitive right from the start. Mercedes is said to have the most competitive PU of all, although it's too early to judge. We'll see how it goes with Ferrari's new rear suspension. Subscribe to the channel.